welcome back to our YouTube channel. So today we'll be doing something very fun and interesting. We know that as bakers we have tips and hacks that make our work easier, especially when we run out of some ingredients at home and there is no way for you to find them at that time. You can easily make do with things that you have at home and you still have the same result. So let's get right into it. I'm going to be looking down here because I have my book with me so that I don't lose track of my thoughts. So once you see me look down, just know that I'm trying to get more information. Thank you. So the first tips and hack for cake baking that we are going to be looking at is how to test your baking soda and how to test your baking powder. There are times you go to the shop or a mall and get your baking soda and the expiring date is like gone, or you just discover that you have a baking powder at home that you cannot even remember the last time you used it. So to test the activeness, simply take a little portion of that baking powder or baking soda, add it to a plate, then add 1 tablespoon of white vinegar to it. Once it sizzles, just know that your baking soda and your baking powder is active and you can still use it. So don't worry about the expiring date not being there. Test it and then you have it like that. So the second thing is steam baking adds moisture to your cake. Yes, steam baking adds moisture to your cake. And what is steam baking? Is majorly just putting a bowl of water inside your oven directly above the fire and allow it to release steam even while baking. So it adds moisture. You understand, that moisture to your cake. Exactly. So once you want to improve the moisture of your cake, just try steam baking and I'm sure you are going to thank me for it. The third one is how to make buttermilk. We know that some of our recipes call for buttermilk, which is not the regular conventional milk, and because of the country in which we are, Nigeria, we have ready-made buttermilk, but they require you to store them inside the fridge with constant electricity, which we know that it is not visible in our country. So what do you do when your recipe calls for buttermilk? You make it yourself. And trust me, it is very simple. So if you need 1 cup of buttermilk, just get your normal milk, cream or milk, and add 1 tablespoon of white vinegar. Stir together and let it sit for 10 minutes or thereabouts. You will get a curdle on top. Then your buttermilk is ready to use. That's simple. 1 cup of normal milk with 1 tablespoon of white vinegar mixed together, allow to rest for 10 minutes, and your buttermilk is ready. So the fourth one, number 4, the fourth one is sieving your flour. Aside removing the particles in the flour, especially store-bought flour that you really do, especially when you're not buying a bag of flour at once. Aside removing particles and unwanted things in your flour, it also helps to incorporate hair into your flour that also helps the texture of your cake. So if you have not been sieving your flour, either to make cake, donuts, anything at all that you are going to be using flour, please make sure that you sieve your flour. So number 5, break your egg one at a time to avoid stories that touches the heart. Trust me, because I've had cases where some recipes call for 250 grams of egg and that's about 5 eggs thereabouts, and you break the first one, nothing is good. Second one, very good. Third one, very good. Then you break the fourth one and you discover that it's spoiled. Trust me, you have to discard all of them and start all over again. That's wasting material and also time. So break your egg one at a time to avoid stories that touches the heart.